I'm Christine from Pack Hacker. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Thule EnRoute 14-liter backpack, which I've been testing for 3 weeks. Let's jump in. So the Thule EnRoute 14-liter backpack is a great everyday backpack for daily use, going to work or school, and then also transitions well to more adventurous things like taking a hike, going out on the town for a day trip when you want to carry some things with you. It works well for both of those things. When we take a look at the materials, there's 330D mini ripstop nylon, which in this black colorway has this little pattern in it. The other colorways seem to not have that pattern. I kind of like the pattern myself. And then around the rest of the bag is a 600 denier polyester. So we've got nylon and polyester. It's really easy to clean. I even got some sunscreen out, which I don't know, I always have trouble getting sunscreen out of anything. So I liked that. You just wipe it clean. You can see I still have a few spots around here, but it's easy enough to just wipe clean. And it comes in, this is the black. There's also asphalt, rapids, which is a really bright blue, and then rooibos, which is a red. So there's different colorway options to choose from. Each one has the Thule brand here in this nice reflective logo design. And then the only other branding was on the back, on the shoulder strap here. There's one just little Thule here. Really nice, clean lines. I really like the look of this backpack, and I got a lot of compliments over the 3 weeks that I was testing it, so that was kind of nice. Staying here on the front, you do have these, you can kind of see I put this little Matador nano towel here. You have these, a hidden daisy chain, can you see right here, of just loops, attachment points where you can use a carabiner. I'd hook this little towel, I would hook hand sanitizer, my work key fob. It's just really nice to have the things that you need every day within easy access. It can, because there's like 4 attachment points, if you're trying to put them on and take them off, you know, you can run into sort of overlapping there a little bit, and but it's really not that difficult. You just flip it up and you can see, okay, I'm gonna hook onto here, do it, and then once it's on, it's on. It's really nice. It's a nice feature. Down at the bottom here, they have another attachment point, which is good for like a bike light. If you're riding home after work or just from wherever you are, you can stick a light here and then people will see behind you and they'll be able to see you, especially if you're wearing a black backpack. So that's a nice safety feature there. And if it's something you don't need, it really blends in. You don't even really notice it if you didn't have something hooked there. So that's kind of nice as well. Then we have Duraflex hardware on these slides here. And then the zippers are YKK zippers, have these nice webbing corded pulls. Makes them easy to open and close. This main zipper is the only one that I felt needed a little breaking in, but now you will see after 3 weeks, it works really well. It just took a bit to get to this spot. So be patient. If you're like, oh my gosh, why is this? It kept on getting caught around these corners, but now it doesn't. So just be patient, break it in, it'll work for you as well. Let's take a look around the back here. So we have the shoulder straps. They also have the nylon ripstop on the outside. And then underneath is this breathable mesh, and they're padded. So is the back panel. It's got this breathable mesh and padded, and it's got this air channel here. Now, this is all supposed to make everything more breathable, more comfortable. And I will say I took this hiking in 90-degree heat in Hocking Hills in Ohio. And while, of course, I still sweated because 90 degrees, it was comfortable and it wasn't overly much. I felt like the mesh and the air channel, I felt like it actually helped. Maybe it was all in my head, but hey, it works out, right? So, and it was comfortable carrying this around for hours on end, doing that as well. So that's really nice to know. The back panel is very well padded, and it's stiff so that like this backpack it won't ever sit without tipping forward because of that. But it didn't dig into my back at all. You can see it fits very nicely, and it just sort of forms to your back, which made it very comfortable for multiple users to use throughout hours of hiking. So that was really nice. What I also like, I'll show you here, there are built-in strap keepers. So it's just this little elastic loop that's just on the strap, and I found the right length for myself, and I rolled these up and I stuffed them in, and I never had to change them again. So that's a really, really nice feature. I appreciate that I don't always run into on backpacks that I've tested so far. The built-in feature is really nice. Now, the only thing that does impact is if you're switching then from, like I was hiking and I wanted my husband to take a turn, well then it was a little tight for him to put on. So you do have to like undo that, adjust it correctly, and then you put it back in, or he just dealt with it. So that's the only time when the strap keeper is a little bit of a detriment, but it's really not much of a detriment at all. So now what else we have around here is these stretchy mesh water bottle pockets. They kind of look like tights. It's this just see-through mesh, and I was afraid like it might run or snag, and they didn't at all. But they're very elasticy. They run on a bit of a diagonal here, but because they're so stretchy, like the mesh itself is stretchy and this top elastic is very stretchy, so they hold your water bottle really tight. They also made it so that it was very easy when the backpack was on to just reach back and grab my water bottle, and then I was even able to put the water bottle back in while I was wearing the backpack, which is not something that my uncoordinated self is usually able to do. So I find that really handy. I liked that feature. You do have to pay attention to if you have a lot of things inside the bag, like most backpacks, the capacity of your water bottle of these side pockets is eating into the bag a little bit, and vice versa. So if you have, like you can kind of see I have a lot of things bulging out on this other side here. If you do, it does make it maybe a little harder to slide things in, but because this was so stretchy, I could just sort of pull it out, slide them in, that's all. So that's really nice. Now, taking a look before we go all the way inside, there's a front pocket here, and it's got this very nice, soft fabric, so it doesn't scratch if you wanted to put sunglasses or your phone. It's nice and protective for that. It's fairly deep and spans about basically the front of the bag here. But you will see when we go in, there's other pockets on the inside that are using the same, everything's sort of sharing the same capacity, so you just have to be careful how you pack things. It's more the order of operations. It's like if you pack one pocket first, then it impacts how you pack the other pockets. Like when we were hiking, my phone was in here, then I'd pull it out, and then you move around some more, things shift around some, and then it's sometimes was harder to jab it back in there just because it didn't like other things had shifted around, so then it made it so it was harder to get it back in. I was always able to do it, but it's just something to be aware of. So, but when we open it here, you will see we do have this just carry handle here. It's good for hanging it up. It's just webbing. There's no padding. I wouldn't carry it by this for very long because it's not very comfortable, but it's fine for just picking it up out of the car or off the bus and then putting it on a hook, or it just sort of sits there. Then we unzip this U-shaped opening, which I wish went down a little farther. I feel like if it went down this extra 3 inches on either side, you could open this up and have it easier to pack, okay? So this is, you'll see in a minute, this is sort of an issue. As it is, this instead opens up more like, kind of like a soft-sided cooler, and it doesn't, there's a lot of capacity in this bag, but it's hard to get at because of where all of the pockets are. So starting with this top pocket, it's just this little pocket here, and it's pretty easy to access, and this one does not impact. It's not impacted by the front pocket or this other pocket, and it really doesn't get in the way of anything else. It does make it so that, you know, if you put a lot of heavy things in here, it sort of flops a little bit, but at this point it's flopping out of the way, which is great, except for the fact that it's making my wallet flip over and my change slide out, so there's that. But the real issue here is this, I think it's like, it's an 8-inch by 7-inch pocket. Again, zippered mesh, really, you know, it's a nice pocket and it's a nice idea, but its location, pull this out, let's have it aside so you can see. It really impacts what you put in here. Like I put in all my cords and my charging block, my AirPods, all my other tiny gear that I want to go with my computer, which I'll get to the laptop top compartment a little later. But it really impacts how much space you have to put things in the main compartment here. You'll see like my hand barely fits there. And if we look here on the front, you have a lot of space down here. There's a lot of space to fill out down here. But if you have so many things in that pocket, it makes it really difficult to shove anything else in here, even though this bag fits. I can fit a book and a notebook. I can fit it all in here. You just have to like watch how you actually pack it. So if we wanted to fit a lot in here, I have found that it's better to not have this tech pocket here packed out so much, and also not to have anything in this extra, it's like for a tablet, or I use it for my keyboard. Not have so many things in there. And then do you see, now you can see how much more room I have to pack this out. So now I can slide in this extra bag, and I can slide in my book here. And I even really would have room for another notebook if I wanted to play around with things. And then you can go back and shove some of these things back in. It all fits, it's just the order in which you do it impacts it. So I did end up basically, I wouldn't put so much stuff in there, even though the capacity was there, just because it was so difficult to access. It's just what I found. I'd have my cord. I usually didn't even have my AirPods. So I have my cord, I'd have my book, I'd have my keyboard and my computer back here. And then it works out really well. But you can see, just looking here, there's this added capacity that's just, this bottom part's basically not being used because you can't get at it. Just something to be aware of. So then back here, we do have a 13-inch laptop sleeve. It's very well padded. It also has, it's hard to see, but if you feel down here, there's padding at the bottom too, which is nice if you are butterfingers like I am sometimes and your computer slips out of your hand, it's gonna get cushioned before it hits the bottom of your bag. So that's really nice. And then we just zip it all back up. And that's that. So there you have it. The Thule EnRoute 14-liter backpack. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next video.